Tom, thanks for bringing this Bugeye to bugeyeguy.com. We will get it driving for you as quickly as we can, unlike a lot of the projects that we get. This one being all original underneath, but having the cosmetics restored, it will make it a lot easier for us. But tell us, I wanted to interview you and hear about the story of this car. Tell us when you got it.
Well, I bought this car in 1961 from August Osterlin Motors in West Newton, Massachusetts.
August Osterlin?
Yeah, that was their name.
That was the guy that ran it?
That was the name of the car shop, and they didn't normally do anything with British cars at all. They were, I think they were a Chrysler dealer or a Dodge dealer. But at any rate, I saw it in their showroom, and it's what I wanted, and I made a deal with them for $1,000.
Really? They couldn't sell it, so they discounted it that much?
I guess so. I don't know. I thought it was a pretty good deal.
It was supposed to be $1,700 or $1,800.
Yeah, this was a year old.
It was leftover.
Yeah, and it had been owned by a family in Cambridge.
Oh, okay. I see. So it was used.
It was a trade-in, apparently.
Do you remember how many miles were on it?
Not many. It was, I don't remember exactly, but it was probably less than 10,000.
Wow. Okay. And they just took it on trade, and it was the only thing they had in there that was remotely like it?
Yes, right. There were no other British cars even in view.
Okay.
And so I bought it, and my wife and I drove it around. I wasn't married at the time, but we were married shortly thereafter, and we drove it around. And then I ended up in the Army, and I was stationed at Fort Belvoir, so I drove it down there.
Where is that?
Virginia.
Oh.
And we got married shortly thereafter. We got married, it was a Cold War marriage. I came home on leave about to go to Europe, to Germany, and when I was home on leave, Kennedy announced that dependents would be allowed to go to Germany again after the Berlin crisis. It just ended. So we got married on a week's notice, had a church wedding, and I went to Europe, and she finished nursing school and came over 6 months later. I brought the car to Germany.
Oh, you brought it over with you?
Oh yeah, we brought it to Germany.
And how was it transporting it? What did you do?
Well, I drove it down to Brooklyn and put it on a ship, and it arrived in Germany, maybe a month later. I'd already been there for a month.
And was it in the shape that you remembered? Did it get damage or anything?
I don't remember any damage. I think we drove it around Germany for the year and a half or 2 years that I was there. And I think that on the way home something got stolen off. Maybe the battery got stolen out of it or something like that.
On the ship? On
the ship.
Yeah.
Or in one of the terminals.
And do you remember what it was like driving this car around in Germany? That was in what year?
That would be 1962 to 64.
Wow, and that was all you had? And Germany was just parked outside your apartment, or what?
Yeah, it was just on the street. And we had no problems with it. Let's see, I did have to have a clutch replaced when it was at Fort Belvoir. I don't remember any maintenance problems in Europe to speak of.
But in Germany, did you drive it on the Autobahn, or what was that like?
Well, it red lines at about 65 miles an hour, so I was being passed by a lot of people, but other than that, it was fine.
Oh, that's great. Okay, and then what year was it that you brought it back?
Brought it back in 64. And we registered it again in Massachusetts where we lived, and I drove it there for several years, and in fact we drove it to the hospital on the day that my son was born, and there he is right there. And we used to do something which would never pass muster now, was that when the two of us wanted to go somewhere with him, we took a laundry basket, put the laundry basket back here, put him in the laundry basket, and off we drove.
Oh, that's great.
That was a paleo car seat, I guess.
So your first Bugeye experience was in a laundry basket in the trunk. That's great. I want to break up this video, so we'll do part 2 in a minute. I would love for you to give us a tour of the interior, so we'll be right back. But thank you for bringing this car to BugeyeGuide.com for us to get it driving again, and I'm really excited about its next chapter, so thank you for coming.
Okay.